It's time to start your life the way it is meant to be. There's only one time when it will be too late, and you don't want to wait for that. This is Now or Never. The choice is yours. Your host is Karen Wright. Today you're about to meet some amazing people. The stories are not always happy ones, but they define a healing process. Listen with an open mind and an open heart. Now, here is Karen Wright.
Welcome, listeners. Thank you for tuning in to Now or Never. The choice is yours. Today's show title is called Remember Who You Really Are. The path to really seeing yourself can be a winding one. Inner awareness, transformation, and spiritual sensitivity all shape the journey you're on. Today, I will be talking to two spiritual healers and transformation coaches, Karina Aragon and LaVonne Sandberg. How are you both doing today? How are you doing? We've had a little technical difficulties here this morning, but we've got Karina. Yes. How are you doing this morning? Karina's good.
I'm doing well. How are you? Thanks for having me, Karen.
Doing great. I love the backdrop, the sparkles, all of it. I love it. It looks great. And LaVonne, how are you doing?
I am doing great.
It's been one of those mornings already, I can tell, huh?
Yeah.
The universe is full force right now. You got to love this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, listeners, thank you for taking, yes. Listeners, you know, as we start every show, I always love to ground us and get in center. And I invite all of us to close our eyes and take a deep breath in and exhale. Closing your eyes. Take another deep breath in and exhale. And now bring your hands up around your shoulders. Give yourself an extra low squeeze this morning. It's Wednesday, middle of the week. We need this right now. Give yourself a quick squeeze and breathe in and release. And this time, let's repeat 3 times, I am worthy of my love, to yourself or out loud. I am worthy of my love. I am worthy of my love.
Worthy of my love.
I am worthy of my love.
I am worthy of my love.
Take another deep breath in and release. And then tapping 3 times on your chest, repeating the word accept. Accept, accept, accept. Take another deep breath in and release. Listeners, I hope that brought you into the present, into the now, being able to open up your mind, your heart, your soul to this wonderful, harmonious, mindful show that we have today. And as we begin, I share an affirmation. And today's affirmation is actually sponsored by Aluva, the new health product for wellness and weight loss. So thank you, Aluva, for doing that for us today. I invite my guests, as I read the affirmation out loud, to share with me what comes into your thought. What was the first thing you thought about as I read this affirmation? And I would love you to share it with our listeners today. So, you both ready for this?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is a card. It says, I am forever expanding.
Mm-hmm.
I am forever expanding. So, Karina, what was the first thought that came to you, or what came to you?
The first thought that came to me when that card was revealed is it's just something that I've always talked about, is that we are all expanding and moving through new territory. It's just like our little solar system. We're moving through and expanding at increasing rates. And there's a lot of movement, and there's a lot of growth, and there's a lot of changes, and there's all these unexpected energies and things that we go through. And so for me, it just shows that we're all growing and we're all evolving. And that's what we came here to do, right?
Yes, I love personal. That is great word of wisdom right there. Expanding, evolving, and continue to move and go. What about you, LaVonne? What did you feel or think?
Breath. Every time we inhale, every time we exhale, we are expanding. We are opening ourselves up more. This is why when people are going through challenges, every time they breathe, it gives some type of a relief. So since we are infinite beings, we are infinitely expanding, and usually it is through the breath. It is the breath.
It is
expansion through the breath.
And I love that because we just got done doing our breathing and we're expanding and releasing, expanding, releasing. So listeners, I invite you to write the affirmation down your sticky note or on the mirror like I do. I am ever expanding. So that is the affirmation for this week. I do too. This would be great. You know what? I'm going to introduce LaVonne first today. LaVonne Sandberg is a spiritual teacher, global speaker, and love activist. LaVonne is committed to assisting others remembering who they really are, which is divine expression of love. Her first love is assisting moms and dads who have experienced the passing, transitioning of a child through the healing process. She believes it is by remembering who they are, they can access their child by using their hearts as the main tool. Her workshops include connections and communications from sadness to celebration, AKA life after life, and connections and insight, C&I. LaVonne recognizes what we hold all answers within ourselves, but she acts as a catalyst to help others find clarity and awakening resolution that currently lay dormant. Her connection with spirit began as a child. She experienced many challenges, yet worked through them with full acceptance that she was never alone. She enjoys watching the delightful way life begins to unfold because people become more in tune with their inner awareness as they evolve. So LaVonne, thank you for being with us today.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Oh my God. Isn't it so much fun just to listen about yourself?
Yeah, I'm just like,
Pretty fabulous.
Oh, I think it's wonderful. Yvonne, I would love it, LaVonne, if you could tell if you feel comfortable doing this. I know it's not one of the questions that we talked about, but a little bit about yourself, about connecting to spirit as a child. I love my listeners to get to know my guests on a little deeper level and go as deep as you feel comfortable. Remember, always lean in with our heart, and you will be guided. I know that. So explain what was that all about?
I grew up in foster. Well, you don't know, so I'm gonna tell you. I grew up in foster care as a child, so I always felt alone most of the time, and so I had a lot of alone time, and I had a lot of ups and downs and a lot of challenges as a child, and I just would have moments where I did not feel alone. There were moments where I was at a sad point where I would just, have like love. Okay, spirit, come into my room, or just talk to me and let me know that things were going to be okay, and that everything I was going through was going to assist me in my adulthood, and that I was on the right track. I've always believed I was an old soul, even as a child. And that's probably why I always defied authority and things like that, because they would tell me one thing and I didn't believe them because it just didn't feel right. And so I've always had a very close connection with the spirit world. And what that means is just basically, because the spirit world's right here, we don't die. And I realized as I got older that part of the work that I do with moms and dads, having them access their children, was beginning when I was a kid. You know, I was learning that there was no woo to it. There was no gift or talent. I know people call it gifts and talent. It's just being willing to let go and release the beliefs that we are alone when we are alone. And the reality is we're never alone, you know, and that we don't die and these type of things. So I really believe that really trained me up to what it is that I do now. And I love for people not to have a middle person intervene on their behalf. I love for them to go within and know that there is no gift or talent yet. For some people, they can call it that. That's okay. But everyone and anyone, if they choose to, has that innate ability to connect. And they must first connect with themselves. And so that's what I do with the parents. I have them connect with themselves, and a class that I do called the Sacred Presence. And so once they've connected with themselves, then we move on to talking to other people. So, you know, it's that love affair with the self and really connecting with the self and the breath. And yes. I don't know if that was the answer to your question. But
no, that's perfect. And I love the fact that you said that you, I always call it a gift, or, you know, that we have these gifts, but we all have them.
Word, yeah.
Yeah, we all have them, but we all have to be able. I first believe we need to want to be able to dive a little bit deeper or open up that intuitiveness that we each have. We each are given these. So I think that's really important. What brought you into, because, you know, I lost my daughter at the age of 18. And so.
No, I didn't know that.
You didn't know that? Oh, I'm sorry.
No.
So when I was going through this, I mean, I know we spoke and stuff, but I'm just thinking, I probably didn't tell you a lot about me, but yes, I lost my daughter at the age of 18. And I know she's right here with me. And a lot of things have transferred over from her into me, which I love.
Yeah.
What, for those listeners who have lost a loved one, a child, parents that have done that, what are maybe some steps you could provide for them, or awareness for them to help them maybe open up their space?
Absolutely. It's a thing that my daughter gave me. She's been transitioned over 21 years, but on the 10-year mark, she came to me and she basically said, this is what you're going to teach them. As we want them to know that we're okay, everything's okay, we are still working with them. It's all about relationships. The connection never ends because we're all infinite and eternal, right? And so she says, you're going to give them this: breathe, grieve, and live. And we call them the BGLs. So the breath, of course, because the breath is going to assist with oxygenating the body, fueling the body, assisting with clarity, assisting with the expansion to be able to handle the emotions that come up. The grieving part, be honest with yourself, be honest with your emotions, feel what you feel, and acknowledge those feelings. And then the L is the live. And so what I tell a lot of my clients is, I said, living is simply getting out of your bed, walking into the kitchen, washing one plate, drying it, putting it in the cupboard, going back to bed, and being in those emotions and being okay with that. So living isn't like you need to get out there and just da-da-da-da-da-da. When we all, going through the grieving process, we know that it looks different for every single person. But I truly believe that Kiva is her name. She says, say her name. Kiva is my daughter's name. Breathe, grieve, and live. So the breath is key. Acknowledging emotion is key. Go be in the grief, but also come up for air and live in that portion that we talked about. The other part is wrap yourself up with a green blanket, like a Twinkie. Wrap it up, because the soul identifies with color, and the soul knows that green is the nurturing and the love and the healing, the color of healing. That's why when they take to go outside, green trees, green grass, green, 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 green. We set up a fabulous playground for us to live in. And so That's what I would say. But the bottom line is just start talking to them, talking to your children. If you find that difficult, write to them and ask them for signs. They are so excited about giving signs. They love proving to you that they're alive and well.
Exactly. I totally believe
transitioned out of physical form.
Yeah. I love that. And I love that you mentioned the green, because to me, that's Archangel Gabriel, the healer. He's the green, you know, the color green goes with Archangel Gabriel is what I've been taught, I've learned. And I just, when you said the green, I'm like, yes, Gabriel. He's right there for us.
Yeah. And are you open to me adding something to that?
Yes, please.
So it's Raphael, because the Archangel Raphael is in some systems, and a lot of systems, is the color green. And Gabriel is the blue and the green. They intertwine a little bit. But Gabriel was there for me when she was in the womb and when she was birthed. And then when I was going through the grieving process, Raphael was there for the grieving process. You know, they're all there. And they're all one with us, and we are one with them. Yeah. Yeah. Just an additional. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's empowerment. I love that. And listeners, this is why we have these guests that are just so in tuned, and they have the connection like we all do. And I appreciate you, LaVonne, giving those breath, grief, and living. Like, that's just part of life. And I appreciate that. LaVonne, what type of self-care do you give yourself?
Oh, one of the greatest self-cares that I give myself is I come down, you know, I come into my office and I sit and I hold my malas that I wear on my wrist, and I go through all of my malas. It's just something new I've started doing for myself. And then whatever, excuse me, I need water, sorry.
That's all right.
What I normally do is I do an affirmation in the morning, and I will create a mantra for myself, and I go through every single beat to keep my focus. So the stillness, the breath, and the focus, because the way to make connection is to be really one with yourself, one with your spirit. And so a lot of times I'll say, I am peace. And every beat, I am peace. I am peace. And I will sit in the energy of I am peace, and it literally envelops my entire being from the inside out. And then I give gratitude, and I hold the beads. And you don't have to have the beads. It's just something new I'm doing. And I hold it close to my heart, and I just sit in the energy of the mantra of I am peace, I am love, I am trust. And I am nurtured from the top of my head to the soles of my feet. And that is my morning practice. I will do that diligently every day. And it's my form of prayer and meditation. And yeah, they're telling me, LaVonne, you need to hydrate. And that's what I do. But then my other fun stuff for the self-care is the Epsom, of course, the Epsom salt baths and the stones in the bath, things like that. But the sitting with myself is the greatest self-care I could have ever given myself.
So listeners, LaVonne just gave us LaVonne just gave us great wisdom right there. Be in the moment. So stay with us. We'll be right back after this break.
All right, great job. We're all clear. Back in about 2.
Okay, thanks. LaVonne, that was awesome. How you doing? Good?
I'm good. I just remember I told you with all the technology and stuff going on, there was a beautiful energy that was coming, female energy that was coming in all morning, and I was just like, I don't know if I have time for this. What is this? You know? But then I was very humbled. I was like, okay, I'll be humble. And it's a beautiful, feminine, very strong, beautiful energy, and so it's taken everything in my being just to like be, because that's what I'm doing now is when I feel that type of an energy, same with my malas, I will just hold it close to my heart and just let it envelop from the inside out and just feel all the yumminess and everything else. And I'm convinced that's why my thing keeps going in and out, because I never have problems with my Zoom. And it keeps going in and out while we're talking. And then this is my indicator that, of course, drink water. The energy is intensifying. It's a beautiful energy. It's just a very high, beautiful, but I definitely know it's female. It's just so super strong. So.
Yeah, I've been super dehydrated for the last couple of days.
It's been crazy.
Yeah, me too.
I've been drinking so much water. I'm like, okay, you gotta just add the minerals and a little bit of that Epsom salt, and the water really helps.
Oh, that's so good to know. So just one note, just for sounds here. If you're not talking, then put your little mute button on your screen, because if you cough or something, then we pick that up if you're not talking.
Oh, I thought it was on mute.
Yeah,
LaVonne,
when it's on the phone, you can't. Yeah,
LaVonne doesn't have to worry about it. But Aaron, you.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But Aaron, if you're like coughing or something, then we'll just mute that so it doesn't sound in the background. Okay. I should have told you guys before. Sorry, that was my bad. Every now and then my button will go on.
All right, yeah, we're just about
What's
to come
your
back
daughter's
here.
name?
Okay.
I'm sending the feed your way. Here we go.
Okay. My daughter's name's Karina.
Okay. What's her name?
You are listening to Now or Never. The choice is yours. To connect with the program today, please call us at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. If you'd rather send an email, the address is karen@shinenowornever.com. Let's get back to this week's show. Here again is Karen Wright.
Listeners, welcome back. We have had the special time with LaVonne Sandberg, who is a wonderful individual. She is connected, and we were talking before break about her self-care. And during the break, she was talking about this green energy light of a female light that's been coming into her. And I so much appreciate that. She lost her daughter 21 years ago. I lost my daughter in 2004. And I just feel that they're with us today. They're going, yeah, moms, let's do this. You know, and they're probably just next to us talking.
Together. They know each other. Yeah, they know each other. The children know each other.
Yes. When you said that, I got the goosebumps and I just wanted to share that with the listeners, that there is power all around us. There is our loved ones, our continue. And I love how you say we continue to evolve. We're not here just on this life and then we're gone. I believe and I know in my heart that we just continue to evolve into the next place. Yeah. And I love that. So listeners, stay with us, because we've got some more coming up here. LaVonne, there's one other question I want to ask you before we turn the time over to our next guest. But you have a lot going on with your life, afterlife connections, and you're helping other people do a lot of things and healing. And I know you talked a little bit about how that came to be, but can you go just a little bit deeper on what gave you that insight? And I know it was your daughter that probably pushed you forward with that. But if you could give our listeners a little bit more depth on what exactly you do. And then before the end of the show, each of you will be able to share your contact information with our listeners and things like that, so they can get a hold of you.
Okay. And so just for clarification, the question is, go more in depth with what I do or how that came to be? Just looking for clarity.
Yes, let's do how you started it, how it came to be, and then let's start with that first.
Okay. So I would honestly say, even as a child, I was in tune with things around me. But the main experience, I would say the grand experience of my life, was the birth of my daughter, Kiva Deja Wells. And she came 3 weeks early, and she had some medical conditions that basically her whole endocrine system was challenged, and she was on life support for quite some time. What really catapulted me into the work that I do, and I've worked with I have a lot of people I work with that have loved ones that aren't their children. But I've been finding my focus really working with the moms and dads with their children lately a ton, because their hearts just feel like they're so broken. One of the things that my daughter taught me, and with her transitioning, well, to be honest, after I had to disconnect her from life support, I held her for an hour, and I actually witnessed her transitioning. I felt her leave the crown of her head, and I felt her immediately on the side of me, my right side. And my life forever changed, because when I went to put her physical temple back into the bed, and I went to the elevator, I heard a little voice, and it said, "Wait for me, I'm coming with you." Thought I was crazy. And my friend asked me if I heard what she heard. So she heard it too. So we know we weren't making it up. But from
they
there
have a
on,
way of doing that. Let me tell you what.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. From there on, I went to do a TED Talk, and I'm a reoccurring speaker for Good Things Utah on Channel 4, and I've done a lot of speaking for Park City TV. And just the doors have opened up for me to just kind of share what it is that the world deserves to hear, what message gets to be put out there. And my commitment is just to assist people in healing from the inside out, and remembering who they are, and that's where that sacred presence comes from. I don't know if that answers your question, but
no, that was beautiful.
The catapult. Yeah.
No, I think that was really Yes, thank you, LaVonne, because that's exactly what I wanted the listeners to hear, and I appreciate you sharing. And I know I didn't read that part in your bio, that you are on Good Things Utah, Channel 4, Mindful Mondays. So are you there every week or once a month? How does that work for you?
Every fourth Monday. I was just there yesterday. The link's on my personal page. You can see it. Oh, actually, I didn't put it on there yet. I'll put it on there. But anyway, we just did one on your superpower is love.
I love that. I love that, physical power. I'm all about the love thing. You know that. It's such a good thing. And their Channel 4 is great. Not like we're doing shout outs, but hey, I was on Good Things Utah, I think last month, talking about my book. Now Never Shine Baby Shines. Yes,
I love them. I love them and what they do in the community.
Yes.
How diverse they are. Yeah.
They're very diverse. So let me introduce our next guest. She's been there so patiently waiting for us, Karina. Thank you.
Oh, no, I've been listening and trying not to cry. You guys' stories have always touched me. I know your story, and I just assumed that you knew LaVonne, you knew Karen's story as well, and that was just crazy that you didn't know, and you guys are just here speaking about this. And it moves me, because you guys are not the only ones that I know that have lost a loved one, a child. And to me, as a Leo, and I roll the heart in children, that just touches me on a really deep level. And so I love listening to your guys' stories. And
Well, thank you. Listeners, let me share you a little bit about Karina, because she is just a soul that is on fire right now. Karina is an entrepreneur, intuitive transformational coach with Lucid Living Movement. She's also a best-selling author, international best-selling author of Break Free to Stand in Your Power and Break Free to Peace, Love, and Unity. And the last book, C. McGarrett was the main core author of that one. And each of us, that's how Karina and I met, was through that book. And it's amazing the wonderful people we've met through just each of us writing a chapter of that book, Break Free to Love, Peace, Love, and Unity. So kudos. And I just feel honored right now. She loves to inspire, create, and heal. She has been an entrepreneur for over 13 years, creating CK Cleaning and successful cleaning and organized business, Karina desires to assist the collective through the transformation into building the new world. She wants to make a difference in the community around the world through inspirational speaking, healing arts, and teaching practical astrology. Today, we get to spend some time with, I told Karina she could explain to our listeners the basics about astrology and what she knows so she can share with us. I'm so much looking forward to that. So everyone, welcome. Karina, thank you for being here with us. Raise the roof. It was a raising the roof. High-fiving each other. Oh my gosh, I love you so much. So Karina, what was your major in college? What did you major in college? I'm just going straight to I want to know your source for a second, and then we're going to do something else.
Okay, so growing up, I've always been a natural, charismatic, theatrical person. So naturally, I was into the arts theater. And because I have a destiny point in Leo, which is a very unfamiliar area of my chart, this is where I felt the most uncomfortable. And I've always been one that wants to challenge myself to grow and evolve. And so I got into the theater and doing the on stage. I went to UCSD and I worked at the La Jolla Playhouse, and I did a lot of theater there. And then when I moved back to the Bay Area, I ended up wanting to invest into character more. I was like, ooh, I want to learn about the psychology of like human behavior. And so I ended up switching from theater to psychology, and it just opened a big bag of worms for me. I had a pretty challenging childhood, and I think for me, being able to express my own emotion through a character was very safe for me, because I've always been kind of more hidden in my emotions. And so I got to express myself through a character. Well, after graduation, I was at my apartment, my first place, living alone, and I was going to work on myself and my shadow work and everything. And I came across an article talking about people being misdiagnosed with bipolar disorder based on their moon placement. And I was like, oh, that's weird. I got to know more. And so I'm reading the article and I was like, wow, there's something into it. And that's really what got me into studying astrology and chart reading, because that's just another element and another level of human behavior. If you think of, we have the environmental factors, right? We have the genetic factors, and all of a sudden there's another environmental factor, which is far, far away, that we don't really see with our naked eye. And that's the planets that rotate around our sun and the earth that we live on, so it's blown me away. The fact that we have earth, and what is right next in between, we're in between two planets, the masculine and the feminine. What's here? Masculine and feminine energy. And we embody that as male and female, right? Mm-hmm. And so we have the Venus of feminine and Mars of masculine. And what are we? We're a blue and green planet. What is that? The throat and the heart. We are here to express our true heart here. I mean, literally, we were born into a society that silence our true voice, our true heart.
Like that whole connection, because LaVonne was talking about the green light and this, and then you bring in the earth and the blue and the green, because we talked about Gabriel's kind of blue and green stuff. I'm like going, yep. Oh my gosh. Okay, never have I thought before blue and green earth.
Yeah.
Oh my heck, you just said that. I'm like, and no wonder it's hard for people to, I just got choked. I can.
She got excited. Oh, my cat's
You're not going to let me talk. Damn.
Yeah.
But it's like speaking your voice. I mean, I had this quote, be a voice, non-echo. That is something I'm like, be a voice, but speaking your truth and finding what your truth is. And your truth is what is in here. It's not what you've been taught, because those are other people's truths coming into forming you. Your environment has taught you things, but okay. And the teachings have gotten us to where we are at this time in this moment. But being able to step aside and say, thank you for everything I've been taught, things I believe in, but what is, and this is what LaVonne talked a little bit about earlier today, about first thing in the morning, she grounds herself, she's centered, she's in the being, she is giving gratitude, she is still, she's listening, she's finding her truth and the importance of that. The importance of what is your truth. And Karina, you just like hit that on. I'm like, look at the necklace.
No, I got that in meditation because I was just like, what is going on? Like, why are we here? What are we here to learn as a one? Because I really do see the big picture. We are one. And that's what's so great about astrology is because you're looking at the things that we don't necessarily see all the time. Yeah, we see the stars in the sky. Yes, we're going to see the major conjunction of Venus and Mars in the sky on July 13th on top of my sun. Like, this is exciting, you know, because they're merging and we're just going to see this big, it's going to look like a big star. And there's just so many shifts going on here. We just got out of an eclipse cycle. And we have this huge square going on, which I could talk about that later. And yeah, so
we are going to talk about that later because there's a lot going on that I think just touching the base of things, just to start planting the seeds for our listeners, I think will be very insightful today. Before we go into, we have a break coming up in just a minute, but I want to see when you have a 3-step process when it comes to your coaching with your clients. Can you explain those?
Sure. Yeah. I pull your basic birth chart and I read it. Really, that's just your soul's DNA. And I look at it so I get to know my client better. I get to know what their process, what process they're out at in their evolution. I can see where their destiny point is, like where the universe is trying to push them. I can see what is going to be best and how they could be best in their business and making money. And then I could also get their communication style, which is like so important for therapists and life coaches, is to really know how to communicate with their client, whether they're, they don't like to be told what to do, or they don't need the authoritative like coach. They need more of an intuitive, like natural coach. So there's so much that you can learn about a person through their birth chart without really having to talk and get to know them. You could ask questions, which is great. I love to see like, oh, look, oh, she has a Virgo moon. So do you feel like you go inward with a lot of self-critical, you're self-critical, or maybe you nitpick things and you really have love in your heart and you just see all the broken and you just want to help everything and everyone, like you like, and it's just, it helps with questions, about a person, and then you can get to know them better. And then after that, then I get into the coaching, which is, goal setting, and then accountability, and therapy is definitely one of the beginning ones. And it just naturally happens because people want you to know who they are and where they come from, and they want to be able to vent and hear themselves, because sometimes we internalize things and we don't get to hear ourselves. And it's so important to be able to listen and hear and be heard. It feels so good. And then you can move past that and then start working on stepping into your best life.
Listeners, Karina just gave us the 3 steps of her coaching style. And stay tuned, because when we come back after this break, we're going to dive a little bit deeper into LaVonne and Karina and astrology and the depths of what is really out there. We'll be right back.
Okay, good. We're all clear. Back in about 2.
Okay, thanks.
Go to the restroom, huh?
Yeah, you got 1 minute to go. She's out of there.
To go. You had to go.
So LaVonne, how old was your daughter when she passed? Was she just an infant still?
Kiva was 5 months old. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. I've got to write her story. started. It's been 21 years. I've been resisting with the belief, I don't know about writing, but I've been doing a lot of writing lately. So I figured that's what an editor's for.
That's what an editor is
Yeah.
for. Yeah, I've got connections if you want help, because I had someone to help me with my writing my story with Karina.
Yeah. Who did you have to assist you with that?
Do you know Bridget Cook? Birch?
Yeah, I do. I do know.
Okay. So, and then there's Rebecca.
Jeff Olson got some contacts too.
Yeah.
He's a good friend of mine. He's my brother. Yes.
Love Jeff. He was on my show 3 weeks ago. 3 or 4 weeks ago. Yeah. Have you done the
for over a decade?
Have you done the ceremony, the circle wheels medicine?
No. That's not for me. It maybe one day, but no. Every time that he does one, there's always an event going on or someplace I got to speak. I get to speak, or this and that. And I'm really working on that. Go where I need to go if truly prompted. But the most important thing right now that I'm doing with myself is being present with myself, being present with the creator, that type of thing right now, because it can get too loud out there.
Yes.
There's a lot of offers out there, but I want to,
All right, sorry to interrupt, but we are coming back.
Okay, thanks.
You are listening to Now or Never. The choice is yours. To connect with the program today, please call us at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. If you'd rather send an email, the address is Karen@shinenowornever.com. Let's get back to this week's show. Here again is Karen Wright.
Welcome back, listeners. We've had the privilege of speaking with Karina and her ability to work with astrology, working with her clients, her coaching style. And kind of the aha thing I had today was her comment about how we've got Venus on one side, Mars on the other, Earth is in the middle. We've got the green and the blue, and the Earth is green and blue. And I'm like, the chakra's blue, the heart's green. It's like, oh my gosh, here we go.
Well, tying everything together.
LaVonne's looking at me like, Karen, come on, you got this already. You guys, these shows are for me. Just so you know, I learn so much on each show that my listeners, I hope you learn as much as I do, because sometimes I'm like dumbfounded going, oh my gosh, that makes perfect sense. Why didn't I think of that before? It's so simple. And to me, life is simple and humans complicate it. And so it's always about just being like, whoosh. I have it written up on my mirror. Quit thinking. Lead with your heart.
Yep.
I do like that one. Pretty good, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, my heck. So I want to dive a little bit deeper into the astrology. And Karina and LaVonne, I know you both have your input with things. And I just want to know, just so we're a basic beginner learner level here. So if you were to explain to someone what astrology was all about, how would you do that?
Okay, so specifically, I'm just going to talk about why you would want to know about your astrology birth chart. How has it helped me personally is understanding the cardinal cross, which is your ascendant, your descendant, and then your IC and your MC. And this is the most important part in the astrology wheel. Your ascendant is more of like the head of the dragon, let's say. This is the area where the character is meant to become. And these are qualities in this area that are to be learned. So this is the increasing qualities of development. Now, the opposite, that's the first house. That's the first house, which is your self-awareness. Okay. Then you have your descendant, which is this is the area where you're seeking balance, right? Because this is, if this is self, this is other. And so this is the area in where kind of you've already been, and this is like where we're decreasing more so in quality. This is more of the shadow aspect. And then you have your IC, which is your home. These are things that you don't see. This could be your childhood, your foundation, your roots. This is your home. and what your experience there. And then you have your MC, which is your career house. Okay, this is where people see you. Now, when you're out in the world, this is what people see of you. This is your career and legacy. So these are the four very important, but the most important to me would be the North Node and the South Node. These are your destiny. So the North Node is a destiny point where people are supposed to be heading. This is the area with the least amount of experience and why we've come here to evolve our soul, right? So it's more of the uncomfortable things. Mm-hmm. And when we're feeling comfortable in life, we're most likely sitting in our South Node, which is the dragon's tail. So there's a lot of symbolisms of this throughout different religions and cultures, but with the dragon eating its own tail. Okay, that's North Node, South Node. You're trying to let go of the past, let go of the things that you already understand and you're comfortable with, and you're moving towards the uncomfortable things that you don't have a lot of experience with. Now, this is one reason why I decided to get into more of a speaking type, public speaking and interviews, is because I'm pushing myself towards my North Node, which is in the first house, Leo, and my Mercury is ruling my first house. So it's all about communicating my authentic voice and being a leader and being an independent maker, really, like knowing myself better. Like, who am I? Why am I here? Why have I been put here? You know? So did I break that down in layman's terms for everyone?
No, LaVonne, did you get that?
I did. I mean, I understand everything that she's saying, but I'm accused of not keeping it so basic.
It is really hard sometimes.
Very clear.
Yes.
Good.
No, that I understood, but I know a little bit, but not a lot. But so when people,
that's just on chart reading, but that's what astrologists do. If you're not interested in chart reading, then that's, you can pay me. That's what I do, you know, to read your chart and to pretty much translate the language of the stars.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when people say, okay, I was born in March, so you're a Pisces, and I was born on the 19th, so I might be kind of on the cusp, 19th to the 21st is Aries. Does that have anything to do with astrology?
So this is why we have apps. I use Astro Gold. Okay. And they're apps, and we don't have to chart it like back in the days and write everything and measure it out, and everything's kind of done for us. And so we can get to the good, juicy stuff, right? Not the technical stuff. We're moving into the 5D now, and things are moving faster, right? Because we have technology to help us. So I just type in your birthday, your time, and your location, because you're more than a sun. You're more than the sun. Because
so type mine in. Do mine right now.
So you want me to pull up your chart?
Pull it up right now. Okay, Listeners,
fine.
stay tuned. We're like going forward with this. So while she's doing that, really quick, LaVonne.
Type in your birthday, time, and location in the chat.
Oh, okay. She's making me work here.
Well, you're making me work. Yeah, so you have a moon. Whatever. You know, you have a moon, like you.
What do you mean location? Where I was born?
Yes, the city.
Illinois. Chicago, Illinois.
City and the state. And then do you remember the time of birth? That's important for your rising, your ascendant, where your cardinal cusp is.
10:10 p.m.
Okay. There is no time for my birth.
Yeah, so it's just about getting some like a session where you ask a lot of questions.
LaVonne.
And then you can kind of figure it out.
LaVonne, I have a quick question for you. So do you read numbers, or do you understand numbers?
I do at a certain level. Yeah. Yeah, meaning I'm not mastered in it, but whenever I've had things come up and I sat with it, this is what my heart or what my spirit says these numbers are connected to. So yes, like the 11s and the 2s and the 4s and 5s and all those beautiful things. Yeah.
11 was started, this last year, 21. 11, like I look at the clock, it's 9:11, it's 6:11, it's 12:11.
11:11.
Yeah.
All the time. And then
Yep.
today I'm getting ready for the show and I'm like, oh my gosh, my show's at 11 Mountain Standard Time. I'm like,
Yep. Yep. You know, I hear people say 11:11. They always say, make a wish. And I'm like, okay, that's interesting. But my understanding of 11:11 is literally two pillars, and it's Spirit's way of saying, are you ready to step into your mastery? It's time. Are you ready? And so when people come to me and they say, I keep seeing 11:11, and I know it has so many different meanings, that's why I always tell people, don't believe anything anyone says, not even me. Go in and see what specifically that is for you. The majority of the time when people are seeing the 11:11, it's the pillars. Are you going to walk through the gateway or walk through the path? Are you ready to step into your mastery? And so when I see 11:11, that's what that means to me. And I used to get that a lot. I still do. And I get that from my daughter a lot. And I know that her telling me, okay, Mom, we're going to next step. Let's go.
Doing
Let's
this.
go.
And LaVonne, why don't you share with the listeners your contact information while we have some time
You know, the
here?
best way, the best way to get a hold of me, just DM me on Instagram. Go to my Instagram, at The Spiritual Teacher. That's at The Spiritual Teacher. And that is the platform I'm on the most, and that I will see your message. So if you have any questions or anything comes up for you, feel free to do that. And I wanted to let everyone know that I'm starting a Love On movement.
I
love
it.
Yeah,
Love that.
and I actually shared it on the show yesterday as well. So that went really, really well. But basically, through the drama, trauma, through the challenges, the only thing that's going to get us all through this as one unified planet people is to keep loving on and on and on.
I'm always known to say, oh, I love that. I love that. And I do, because that's so important to me. Listeners, go on to at The Spiritual Teacher on Instagram, right? For LaVonne?
At The Spiritual Teacher. Mm-hmm.
At The Spiritual Teacher.
Absolutely.
Okay. And then, Karina, before you share any information about me, you just did. Hold on.
For you, Karen.
I want you to share your information for people because I don't want them not to get this before the end of the show. And we're getting close to time. So share with the people so they can get a hold of you.
Me?
Yes, your turn.
Oh, okay.
This is Karina. Karina,
right.
So talking about astrology.
I'm back. So the specials that I'm offering listeners today is a Zodiac bracelet. I make these Zodiac bracelets. I could do either planets. I do planets, and I make moldavite bracelets with crystals. And here's my new moon one, if you're a new moon baby like I am. And I pull up your birth chart and I make a crystal bracelet that is your energy that will help you step into your power and your energy through your Zodiac chart. Now, how you get to my website, it's really easy. It's www.lucidlivingmovement.com. You can message me there. I have a 20-minute consultation. It's $25, but if you decide to work with me, that just gets applied to whatever work we do with each other. And, if you talk to me, you'll probably want to. So.
Of course we're going to want to.
Are you on Instagram? Yeah. Are you on Instagram?
I am. My Instagram is lucid_living_coach. And I do put a lot of synchronicities and numbers. And I have a YouTube, which is Karina Aragon, your lucid living coach, because that's my name. And so I do a lot of videos on astrology, transits and stuff. And I'm going to step more into doing more about health and stuff. But yeah, you'll get one of my crystal bracelets with any purchase of like a reading, a transit reading, or a coaching.
That's amazing. So listeners, step into that, lean into Karina and LaVonne and what they have to offer today. Thank you for being with us. The affirmation, I am ever expanding. Write that, remember that, the breath, evolving. We touched all of that today. The breath is a gift of life. Choose now and to live. Remember, this world is not for sissies. We are here to experience our own story as we each walk our personal journey. Have an amazing day, and thank you for choosing to be here now. Until next week, sending you all love and light.
Mwah.
All right, good. We're all clear. All right,
Oh
you have
my
to disconnect. You have
goodness.
to disconnect the lines right away for the next show. So, so Yvonne or LaVonne, you just have to go on to back and unmute on the Zoom call because I have to.